Adi, wonderful to see you. And it's a new normal for me. First time I'm seeing you chilled,
Yes,
not having
absolutely.
made the trudge to Parel all these, a decade of doing that for you.
Yes, it's pretty. I can't tell you how happy I am. Not to see you firstly, and to not have to trudge around. Secondly,
No, thank God you clarified that. But yeah, I could get used to it. I mean, you have the right software, broadcasting a show from home. So I think uh, all of us waste a lot of time on stuff that can be done through technology. I think this pandemic has taught us that, right, Adi?
this has taught us that, and especially in a city like ours where traffic is such a problem, I think we are really going to measure which people we really need to meet in person and which we don't, and what meetings we can do from home. So no, for sure, I think we're going to be smarter about how we kind of plan our days going forward for sure.
Now listen, हमारे पेट पे लात. You're getting very good at this dubbing and this voiceover thing. Please
Yeah.
remember that for radio hosts, it is a big moonlighting factor how we make our money, which is voiceovers and dubbing. So do not think of taking it up as a profession. But
Listen, I
well done on screen, bro.
well, thank you, man. Thanks a lot. But I don't, yeah, I no plan so far. Plan B or plan C, let's see. But not right now.
I hope that day never comes, considering how good you are at your primary career.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
But I mean, you're no stranger to going into a room to dub. We'll come to the ventriloquism later. But this is different. I mean, normally you guys go into dub your own voice in a film or an ad film, and this calls for a different quality because it's a different face, it's a different tone and things like that. So
Yeah.
to get that right for Ludo, talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think for me, the key was to work. I think I found it through the ventriloquism work. So I worked with a wonderful guy called Satyajit, who's great, and I did a lot of exercises, voice exercises, because it's like a tricky kind of thing, ventriloquism, and it really does open up your throat to different tones and stuff like that. So I think through that, I found that there was a range there that I didn't know existed, and of course, once you get the lines also they lend themselves naturally to a certain characterization. So you have to give credit to the writers also to kind of, sow that seed, so to speak. But yeah, I think the ventriloquism exercises opened up the voice to being able to kind of hit some of those notes.
And they also say that you're supposed to speak through your stomach. A lot of singers also say that. A lot of VO artists say that. When I go online, it's not so much about the throat, which is why even if they have a bad throat, they're able to get through these long ventriloquism or dubbing sessions. So this
Correct.
thing about speaking from the core or
Yes.
whatever, have you managed to do that? Yeah.
It's about yeah. So there's some breathing exercises that make you kind of have to speak from there, and they look weird on camera, but stuff like that, weird shit. But yeah, that kind of stuff gets you
I've
used
seen the
to.
theater guys do that sometimes
Yeah.
in Prithvi when you go.
Listen, do you need medical help? Uh,
Mouth to mouth resuscitation.
yeah, that thought never crosses my mind. But
Yeah, sure, Adi. Not even when it's a beautiful woman. And the puppet itself, was it designed by Satyajit's people?
it was
Fellows,
designed by Satyajit.
fellows a good
Yeah.
looking chap.
He's a fine looking chap. I'll tell you why. They did a 3D map of me. No, I'm joking. But no, so
Never
Satyajit,
say never. It might start happening now, bro.
yeah, for sure. Deep fakes. Yeah, so they did a 3D map of my face to get it as close to how I look because it's supposed to be an alter ego, quite literally.
Yeah.
A version of me that says things that I can't say myself. So I think Dada wanted it to look exactly as close to me as possible.
And this film is also interesting to me because it's a different pairing, but a different pairing for an entirely different reason. All the ladies, the LGBTQ community, everybody finds you very hot and sexy and interesting. But for Sanya, it was quite an eye opener because everybody never viewed her as this spunky, sexy gal.
Right,
And
right.
this relationship, And your work with her in Ludo has really upped her game on that level, and she's done a fine job, man, for somebody
No.
who's never done you've done the shirtless thing quite often. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, so just a bit on your co-star, man.
No, absolutely, and I think it's great that she's done a role like this so early on in her career, because I think that's what it takes for an actor sometimes, to kind of show people these different sides to you and choose material like that allows you to do that, because a lot of people want to keep casting you in things that they find that they comfort zones or things that you're familiar with on screen. So I think it's good that it's great that she did this film and that she's showing a different side to her, and that'll open up, I think, new vistas for her, for sure.
and, and it's time, I think, you start losing your shit now, on set or otherwise, because you're this reputation of Adi being the cool, chilled out guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But do you ever lose your cool? Because the reputation of Adi being this cool, chilled out, patient guy sometimes must irk you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, my manager that's on mute right now must be really, like, she must be losing her shit laughing at that. Because I don't think she sees too much of that side. But on set, listen, I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, lose your shit on set unless you really really need to. I'd rather keep that reputation for now.
Yeah, no, it's a good reputation to have. It's a
Yeah,
wonderful
man.
reputation to have. So so much is made about Dada throwing you to the lions, like gladiator style. You can
Yeah.
throw them to the lions, and not giving you a script and not giving you a screenplay. Let's just flip this on its head and say, all that has been spoken about. How much fun is it to not have anything?
It was amazing. It took me a few days. It took me a couple of days to get used to that and to kind of succumb or just like let go. Because we're so used to working in that pattern of you figure how you're going to do it, you read your lines and you're there. And that kind of, in a way, what I realized is it pigeonholes you, because yeah, so it took me a couple of days. For the first 2 or 3 days, I was like a little stuck, because I was like, you need a script, I need my lines, and so on and so forth. But then when I realized that, Dada you're in the presence of a master. You're in the presence of someone who is in complete control of every aspect of filmmaking and has has absolute clarity about what he wants. Not about what he wants exactly, but about where he is shepherding you. That then in 2 3 days you just let go, and then it was only fun. It took off all the night before anxiety about, am I going to do this tomorrow? What am I going to do that? Am I going to forget my life? There's nothing. You just go up on set, and it really helps if you've slept well, because you have to be there on the day. You have to be able to deliver because everything is happening on that day. And it was just fun. Yeah, it was more like play. You get to set every day, and Dada throws these situations at you, and you just react. And it was like one of the most fun shooting experiences I've had.
And also, his personality is a little disarming. I mean, he's a legend in the business. But I find that, Abhishek Bachchan can take the piss out of him, take the mickey out of him. Did you take your
Yes.
chances? Did you pull Dada's leg?
I
Or
did not.
you
I
were
did not go
respectful?
that far. No way. No way. That would have felt too unnatural to do. It just didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, but to Abhishek's credit, it doesn't even look unnatural. I mean, he does it in such
Exactly.
a wonderful
He does
way.
that with
Is-
everyone. Exactly.
Your character also to me is very interesting because it's a classical dichotomy of life. I mean, there are guys who are overachievers, who are very ambitious, who want to make the cash in life, and when they
Yeah.
make the cash in life, they stop living in the present. And there are others who say, "I'm very content with my small little motorcycle or my small little mini car, and I will continue my life that way." And that must have really appealed to you because in all our lives, we see both kinds. Yeah.
No, absolutely. That's why it was so fun to play the guy also, because you just I think shows you the character is very interesting, and because he shows you that it's easy to be happy with less. You don't need very much. We're so programmed to think more is better, and that you have to aspire to big things. As in, why? Why do you need to aspire to big things? If you figure yourself out and you know what makes you happy, and if what makes you happy is something else, you don't need to run after what everyone is running after. So I think in that sense, this character is a fascinating chap, because I think he's figured it out, and he knows what he wants. And it's not very much, and that's quite disarming, like you said, and aspirational in its own way, because we all want to find that place where we're kind of
Yeah, the
feeling,
happiness,
you know?
the
Yes.
happiness quotient, like what they call it in
Yeah,
or
man.
something. Yeah. I asked Sanya this question. I want to ask you this question too. If there is any other character apart from yours whose track you are very keen to know, because nobody knows what the film is like till they watch it, because you're not really told too much. So
Yes.
she picked the girl and she says, I want to see where Inayat's character goes because it's so interesting. Would you pick another character that you're very keen to know what their track is?
Yeah, I want to see what Pankaj is up to. I want to see where he's floating around and all the shenanigans that he's up to, because his character seems like it's a very interesting one for sure, and I love him as an actor. So I just want to-
Yeah, and he's done this gangster stuff a lot of times before, but again, to me, it looks like a very different gangster, because this black comedy thing just puts everything into a
Yeah.
loop, doesn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it must have been enjoyable for him also to give a spin to it, and he's done that for sure.
Also, another very important
Don't
film.
tell me you're frozen again.
Yeah, you're back. Another thing that the film talks about in a very humorous way is, pornographic clips going online and being put without, on the fly and secretly, and
Yeah.
that's a problem that we're all facing. I mean, there is an industry, and if it is done the legal commercial way, and if it's done with full consent of people, I'm sure, you, me, everybody should be okay with it. But the fact that this is happening surreptitiously,
Yeah.
and the film puts a black comedy take on that. So just a bit on that. I want your opinion on it.
I think it's extremely scary, because I think technology is only getting better, and I think people are only going to get better at doing this. So we have to think about ways of being able to thwart that. Because when I was shooting the film, I realized that, listen, this is very possible. This is probably, we are a little out of touch with these things. It's probably happening all the time, and it can happen to anyone at any time. So there has to be something to combat this. That it is wrong was obviously beyond doubt, but what is to be done is, I think, the more important question when it comes to this. Getting more stringent about finding these perpetrators and then putting them to task, but it just feels like it's this technology is accessible to so many that it can be misused very easily. Apart from that, I don't know if this is a spoiler or I don't know if we've given out the tape angle to people.
I'll make sure that the interview gets released after the film is released. Don't worry about that. Because we're very close to the 12th as it is. So yeah, but you've got a valid point there. This is in the hands of everybody, even immature kids out there as well as sharks. And
Exactly.
we've got to be really very careful. So you're no stranger
Or
to
just
great.
put on a good. I know you can't be live. Or just put on a good show.
Yeah, if you're doing it professionally, why not?
If there wasn't already enough pressure.
Yeah. Well done, Adi. I'm going to fall off my chair. People underestimate your sense of humor. Hilarious. Listen, as far as the music is concerned, you're not stranger to hit music. I mean, you've been in all these fantastic Mohit Suri movies with great music. But this is a very different Pritham, man. I mean, I'm finding some, electronic drop and things like that. And it sounds beautiful. Both these songs that I've heard, there's another one releasing today. Unfortunately, it's not out as yet, or if it is, I mean, I haven't got that as yet, but the Hamdam Hardam as well as Abad Barbad have, traditional Arijit kind of singing with an electronic drop, and you must be enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it very much, and I think I think you're right. They are quite unique, the songs, and I think it's Dada and Pritham. Yeah, they've been such an amazing combination. They've always thrown up something that's new and something that feels like it's different. I even remember, I think Life in a Metro was amazing, and it was even amazing how Dada used it in the film where he had them playing in it. But for sure, I think they've come up with something new this time again.
Yeah, and Mohit Suri has made no bones of the fact that you were not an avid Hindi movie watcher before you got into the movies. So I'm not going to take the piss out of you on that. But
still no. But, yeah.
but you must have watched the Dada classics. What is it that you enjoyed? You mentioned Life in a Metro.
I remember tripping over Life in a Metro. I loved that film. I was so blown away by even having the band in the film. I thought that was really cool. That he had a band that was a part of the film, apart from, of course, Irfan Khan's performance. That's one performance that's kind of stayed with me just for the charm and the inherent naturalness that he brought to the screen with that performance. So yeah, Life in a Metro for sure.
So I'm going to give you some trivia that concerns you in a very offbeat kind of way about Life in a Metro. Okay, a certain Sid Roy Kapoor. A certain Sid Roy Kapoor used to work with a guy called Ram.
Yes.
And Ram went and he produced. He was one of the producers of Life in a Metro.
Yeah.
And one fine day Ram calls me and says, "Bro," I said, "What?" He said, "Have you seen the film?" So I said, "No, I haven't as yet." He said, "See the film and call me." And everybody's seen the film, but it's too small. It'll just come and go. But there is a radio host character in that film, which is played by Gomzi, which is played by Gautam Kapoor. I don't know if you even remember it. You must have seen it ages ago.
Yeah.
And that radio presenter is called Rishike. Okay.
Oh, I see.
And he was not a straight man. He was a homosexual man. And all respect to the LGBTQ community. I remember meeting Dada at a restaurant and said, "I am heterosexual. I thought you knew that. And how was it that you named the character and that you made him homosexual?" So he said, "Arey pagal, tere pe naam rakha hai, matlab thodi tu hai." It's just that Tani and me used to do these long drives and we used to listen to you. And when there was a small character for a radio jockey, we said, "Uska naam kya le?" And then both of us looked at each other and said, "Rishike."
But you started writing all kinds of scripts in your head saying, "Do I display? Am I?" You went into like introspection.
Yeah. Listen, the lockdown hasn't been easy for a lot of us, but people are surprisingly, lots of people seem to be working on skill sets, man. Some people are learning new softwares. I remember speaking to Ali Fazal and he said, "Dude, I'm started editing short films." Others are saying, "I took to some meditation," things like that. How did you spend your time? Did you work on any skill set or just let it be and said, "I want to just be"?
For the first few months, I was out of the city on a farm. So I was learning some farming and doing some gardening, which was quite therapeutic. I did quite a bit of that. And I tried desperately to pick up some of my dad's cooking skills. So I took lots of cooking classes from my dad. So apart from that, I think I've been learning a bit of martial arts. So yeah, there has been time to kind of pick up some new skills for sure. I wouldn't have if we didn't have the time.
Yeah. You mean to say during Habib's film Dawat-e-Ishq, I remember doing an interview with you. You hadn't gone to your dad for skills at that time?
It was all acting. It was all acting. What can I tell you? I didn't learn how to make a rumali roti. I knew how to kind of fling that thing up in the air. That was one afternoon's work, but more than that, no.
Because I remember you guys coming into studio and we're having this big laugh about how there's dancing and there's cooking and there's enough in your family that you can pick up stuff from. Exactly. And you were like, "No, I didn't." So
I didn't pick up either of those skills.
But you're doing so well, Adi. It's just wonderful. Listen, conversations with you are always heartwarming. You're a good man, and you're absolutely fantastic in Ludo, brother. I'm just seeing your career graph evolve, and you're just keeping on getting. It's like what you say in the film. You're batting like Rahul Dravid, buddy.
It's a test match, man. It's a test match. I love the test match game. So
yeah. With due respect to the Sehwags of this world and the Pandyas now,
yes.
It's that guy who. It's what I tell kids when they show up at the radio station and they want to do radio. I said, "Dude, you got to get on the air day after day after day. You have to bat like Rahul Dravid."
Yes, you just got to show up, and then things happen.
And you did play a lot of cricket when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, that was my first love. Yeah, cricket was my first. That if there's ever a regret I have, it is that I didn't follow through with it. But yeah, cricket for me is. I love watching a nice 5-day test match. Your whole week is sorted. It's amazing. Like you get to nap in the middle. It's the best game in the world, no doubt about it.
And were you a batsman, bowler, or bowling all rounder?
Left arm over the wicket. I was quick. Actually. I was a quick left arm and righty batsman. I won't say too much about that, but I was a young tearaway slingshot, Jeffrey Thompson-esque.
When you're saying left-hander, I would have...
tooting their own horn. I'm guilty when it comes to cricket.
No, but the thing is that we used to look at Thomo's action and go, what kind of an action is that? Now Bumrah has made it all normal. It's become textbook to have Malinga and Bumrah.
But that's a tough... I don't see too many... It's not many people can do that.
Yeah.
Of a 8-9 foot run-up, he's bowling 150. It's crazy. It's
unbelievable.
Really
and I hope you get some time to see our tour down under, man. This is going to be huge. Boxing Day Test match, the works, the Australia tour, which is coming up. So I hope you get some time to do that.
The tours down under have always been fun to watch. Even those triangular one-day series, I wish they would still do them.
World Series. It's called the World Series.
Yeah. Definitely setting my alarm for that one.
Cheers, bro. Lots of love. Bye. Why did you freeze? Yeah.